Well, at least I didn't get it. Okay, well, we're recording this one. Normally, just so you guys know, we don't record these Rise and Thrives, but okay. So, no, Aaron, you're good. So we're gonna highlight these three things today. How to shut down fear so it no longer controls your actions in this business or even really in life, honestly. Fear is gonna keep you stuck like a lot of things wouldn't. It's gonna be the crux, and you have to learn to manage that, control it, shut it down. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about how to enroll with confidence, how to be postured as you're having the conversations with people. We're going to talk about that because that is a learned skill, but it doesn't have to take long to learn. You get to decide how you're showing up. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about how to follow up like a strong leader. Okay? Because that is also really important. You have to, and I've said this before, you've heard Tina say this, you've heard other people say this. You have to show up like the person you're not yet before you're there. You have to be showing up. I had to show up like a diamond before I was a diamond, before my volume showed that. And that's where that imposter syndrome comes in, right? And that's what's going to keep you small. So we're going to talk about that too. So let's start talking about fear, right? And I'm going to be referring to my notes. So if you're wondering why I'm looking down, I'm not scrolling Facebook. I'm just looking at my notes. First of all, who's got their mojo this morning? This is the best thing I've ever had in my life. Every morning, it's the best coffee I've ever had in my life. Okay. So there's a couple of mindset shifts that I want to kind of start with, okay? Somebody put this in the comments already. I just thought fear is just false evidence appearing real. I have a shirt that I don't wear it anymore because it got all ratty, but it says fear is a liar. There's a popular song that says that too, and I absolutely love it. Fear is a liar. It is not real. It's not real. The only way that fear wins is if you let it. Do you know that? You get to decide. You have control. I spent a lot of my life really being run by my emotions, honestly. And fear was a big one. I had a lot of, and this is something that I've really only like remembered recently. I had so much anxiety, even as a kid. I was afraid of everything. I was telling my husband, I would get so anxious, I would just throw up. I did it all the time. And in the 80s, that wasn't a thing that people like were worried about with their kids. My dad was like, stop doing that. And I was like, okay. Like, but I had so much anxiety and it carried into the rest of my life. And so one of the first things I want you to do is shifting away in this business from what if I fail to what if I win. So rather than even allowing that thought in your mind, what if I fail? What if this doesn't work out? What if they say no? Instead of even allowing that thought to come into your brain, immediately shift that into what if I win? What if they say yes? What if they sign up? Fear is always future based. It's imagining something happening that hasn't happened yet. Now, I'm not talking about like PTSD, okay? Like we're not going that route, right? That's very real. We're talking about when it comes to this business, most of the time your fear is for something that hasn't even happened yet, right? Or maybe it has happened before and you're projecting that onto the current situation. But confidence is also future based. Instead of imagining failure, imagine success. And you have the control mentally to do that. So rather than saying to yourself, what if I fail? What if they say no? Say, what is the best case scenario here? And start imagining that. They say yes, they sign up, they become a rock star. They bring people in. Another thing that I like to do, and this was something that I actually learned as a medic, and I had to learn how to manage my fear in that job because all day, every day, you're in high stress situations. You're showing up at everybody's worst day. And it really took me some time to learn how to not get sucked into that, right? I had to learn how to manage my fear and stay postured. So if you start to get afraid, I want you to reframe it into saying, this is not fear, this is excitement. I'm excited. Do you know those feelings can be similar? Start shifting away from the worry about how it could go wrong and instead being excited about where it could go right. And tell yourself that. Because you listen to yourself. And oftentimes we're not. We're not feeding our own selves the right things. And then we wonder why we're not getting the results that we want. Another thing that helps if you start to feel afraid, when you start reframing that, but start changing the focus away from how you feel to them. Fear happens when you're thinking about yourself, not other people. Stop thinking about what they're thinking about you. What if you mess up? What if you say the wrong thing? What if you word vomit all over them in your message? Stop thinking about that. Confidence happens when you start thinking about them. And we've talked about that this week, right? What we have changes lives. Like, and I'm not going to knock anybody else in this industry because this is the best industry in the whole world. And I have friends in all different companies, but I'm not selling makeup to somebody or Tupperware. I'm selling products that are changing people's lives. It is altering the course of their life. Do you know how insane that is? That you have access to these products that can do that? So stop making it about you and start making it about them. How can you serve them? How can you help solve a problem? The best way to get out of your own head is to start helping somebody else. Stop making it about you and start making it about them. That's immediately going to pull you into a different mental space. And every time you start to go down that road again, recenter. I'm helping people. They need this. Right? Because we know that that's true. There's not one person on this planet that couldn't benefit from these products, right? We know that. So I want you to really think about that and start practicing switching your mindset every single time you send a message, every single time you start to have that feeling of fear or doubt or whatever. Start making it about them and start thinking about how you're actually going to be able to help them. And get excited. Rather than being afraid, get excited. One thing you guys should know as well is that there will never be a level in your business that fear won't be something that you're going to have to fight with. It's something I struggle with. It's something Tina struggles with. It's something every person in this industry has moments where fear and doubt can sneak in. Okay. This isn't like just when you're brand new. This is an ongoing practice. But the difference is that leaders don't wait for the confidence part to show up. Leaders take action right through the fear. They act, the confidence comes. Right? That is literally one of the best ways to pull yourself out. Take an action. Send the message. Do the thing that's scaring you. That is what's going to turn you into a leader. That's what's going to start getting you results. Because that's all we're doing too. We're taking an action. The confidence comes after that. You start doing that enough, the confidence starts showing up first. You have to make a literal decision that you are not going to allow your business to be run by your emotions and by an imaginary thing like fear. I say this all the time. The people that don't like what I'm doing, that say no to me, they weren't the ones that were going to be paying my bills anyway. Right? The person that says no to you, they weren't going to be contributing to your paycheck anyway. It's okay. Move on. Right? The haters you get on Facebook, you're so afraid to make the post because you're going to get roasted by somebody. If you guys knew the amount. Listen, I know that a lot of people in this business, network marketing is still seen as kind of spammy, right? There's a lot of icky things in the industry. And so I didn't really understand that because I was ignorance on fire when I got into this business. I was just like, this worked and I'm going to talk about it. And I was very loud and very excited about it. But man, did I get roasted. Oh, it was bad. I don't think I'd ever been roasted that bad since I was in 7th grade and I was hardcore bullied. Some dude threw me in a dumpster. Who does that? Okay, that was the last time that I was that had happened to me in my life, right?
Wait.
I knew you were coming on.
That story and not tell us how you got out of the dumpster.
Dude, this boy was so mean to me. It was 7th grade. Oh my God. Okay, first, I'm going to tell, no, Alicia, it was right before I moved to Spearfish. I'll tell you later. This dude hated me for, this is a very short segue, okay? This boy was so mean to me. He got in my locker and defaced all my pictures. Do you guys remember back in the day when you had lockers and you would like put pictures up? Okay, well, I was in 7th grade, okay? My pictures were of my cousins and my parents. Like, so he defaced my locker. And 7th grade was the worst year of my life. That's not true. I've had a lot of worse years, but that was a bad year because I got chicken pox 3 weeks into a brand new school. I got braces. Like, why were my parents waiting that long? I don't know. So I had chicken pox all over my face and I had braces and this boy was mean. It was rough. It was rough. Amy, this is why I homeschool. Dude, legit. Kids are mean and this boy threw me in a dumpster. I actually had a lot of trauma from that. I can laugh about it now because if y'all knew the amount of therapy I've been in my life, it's been a lot. And that's how I can come on here today and teach you about things I've already gone through. Yeah, dude, for real, get your kids into some sports. I had no defenses. And then we moved right after that, which was really for the best. I don't even know what happened to that kid. I think about him every once in a while. I was like, God, what was happening to him at home? Anyway, we took a hard left here. Okay, but you have to make sure that you're not letting your emotions dictate your success. Okay? You cannot let your emotions dictate your success. You have to stay in control of what you're thinking every single day. Because the next level to your success is literally outside of your comfort zone. Do you guys know people that are still stuck? Their lives haven't changed at all. Do you guys ever see anybody from that you went to school with? I'm from a really small town. And when I go back to visit my parents and my family, I see people working the same jobs from when we were in high school. Like, what? Now, I'm not saying they haven't expanded in their life in other ways, but it just makes me think like, dude, did you ever leave? Did you ever experience anything? No, because that was comfortable. But there's no growth in your comfort zone. You have to be strong enough to push past that fear if you want to get a new result. Because your next level's right outside that comfort zone. You have to do something you've never done to get a result you've never had. And that's really what this is all about, guys. This week is about pushing you to a new level, right? Who feels like they've been pushed to a new level? You guys are so sweet, by the way. I'm good, okay? Don't worry about me. I'm okay. Um, she broke her bully's nose. You guys, we should do it. We should do a story time sometime. Okay, but who feels pushed out of their comfort zone? That's the point, right? I have to push past my fear if I want to get a different result. Otherwise, I have to be okay just being stuck where I am. I'm personally one of those people that when I start to feel stuck, I have to take an action. I have to take an action. That's one of the things that I learned in this business. I got to send a message. I got to make a post. I got to create a reel. I got to do something. I have to take an action to get out of that space. You're going to have to take some actions you've never taken before. You've got to push past. So, I want you to start with that, okay? We're not going to allow fear to control where we're going. We're not going to allow fear to decide how we're going to say things. We're not going to let fear decide what to say when, okay? Fear doesn't get to have a spot in this business because there are lives to be changed here. We don't have time for that. You don't have time to get stuck in fear, okay? Renee. So when you're feeling good, right? We've already dealt with the fear. So now let's move on to how are you going to actually enroll these people with this confidence that you're now walking in, right? Confidence comes from certainty, okay? This is how you get people to say yes without feeling salesy. Because people follow certainty, not just knowledge. Have you ever heard that term? Like I just said, ignorance on fire. If you believe what you're saying, people will believe you. That's legit. If you are passionate about what you're talking about, people will believe you. I used to really struggle with the whole people-pleasing thing, where I just thought I was going to be found out at any time that I was a fraud. I don't even know what I thought I was being a fraud about, but it was like this thing in me. And then when I would do a training or I would go live, I would be thinking about all of these people and what they might be thinking and saying, and then I would try to like address that in my talk because I was having an imaginary conversation with people that probably weren't even watching. Like, it kept me stuck. When I just step out in confidence, knowing because here's what you know, right? What we have changes lives. Like I've said, these products, this business changes lives. You know that. Be confident in that. Do you need to know every ingredient? No, you do not. Do you need to know the nitty gritty of every piece of the comp plan? No, you do not. You absolutely do not. You need to be confident in what you're talking about. And what we're talking about is that these products and this business changes lives. And that's it. You need to get clear on 3 things if you want to start showing up with confidence, okay? Why do you believe in this product? Why do you believe in these products? When I got here, I did not have a product testimony. My first year and a half here, I didn't have a wild testimony of any kind. I didn't look different. I felt different, for sure. But there wasn't any noticeable thing where people would look at me and be like, wow. Now, some people got on that collagen and I mean, they reverse aged for real. That was not me. I looked the same. But it didn't matter because I knew what we had our hands on. I didn't have that story, but I had a testimony group of, well, I don't know how many at the time, but now 160,000 people in it. That's what makes me believe in this product, in these products. Maybe I didn't have a big money story when I came in. Like I had a good money story, but it definitely wasn't the best one. I hit Ruby in 2 weeks. And then I stayed there for 9 months. That's not really a story you want to share, right? Now I'm out of it, obviously. Now I can tell that story. But when I was in it, what story am I telling? I'm telling other stories. I'm telling other stories that are of people winning. I'm talking about the brand new person that just came in and hit Jade in their first 30 days, who'd never done this before. Those are the stories I was telling. So you have to believe in the product. You have to talk about why it works. You have to share those stories, and you have to really own it, because people will feel when you don't. They will. You have to talk about why you believe in the opportunity. We have all over the place. You guys should be taking these Power of One graphics you see people posting, and you should be filling up your stories. Make some posts about it. Get loud about what we're doing and what we have here. Because that's going to draw people in. When you are confident and excited about what we have, it doesn't need to be your personal testimony. That's irrelevant, frankly. You'll get it. You'll get one. Share everybody else's. Share the ones that are mattering right now, okay? Maybe you didn't get your one, but you saw 5 people who did. Shout those people out. Make a post about that. Put it in your stories, okay? You also need to be confident in why you believe in yourself. Talk about the wins that you have had. Talk about the skills you're developing. Talk about the leadership that you have, that you're creating in your own organization, the way that you're showing up, the self-development that you're doing. Why do you believe in yourself? Why do people want to follow you? What are you doing to show up differently? To become that better version? Those are 3 really important things that you have got to get very clear on. And that's got to come out every single day. In your conversations, your posts, your stories, you have to have such bold confidence in what you have that no one can tell you otherwise. Because honestly, guys, they can't. They can't. When you go to have the conversation with someone, you've already postured, right? You've already, you're showing up, right? We've already said no to fear. We're not allowing that to control us. Confidence in enrolling somebody, it doesn't come from pushing them to a result. It comes from guiding. Now, Alicia and I talked about this the other night. She had some phenomenal points about asking powerful questions. You have got to become a professional question asker if you want to become a professional problem solver. You got to get really good at asking a lot of questions. And be confident in your questions. Be bold in your questions. When we were talking about pivoting the conversation, in order for you to do that successfully, you have to have confidence. Straight up ask them. What is more important to you right now? Time, money, freedom? Where are you at? What is important to you? As you're having these conversations with people that are like, I've got to make a change. I really want to get into the business. Talk to me about it. What is most important to you? What would an extra $500 to $1,000 a month do for your life? I'm not promising them that they can do that, but I can promise them I can give them the roadmap. I have the blueprint. It's up to them if they take the actions, but I can show you how to do it. One of my favorite things to say, and this is not the first conversation when I say this, but what is stopping you from creating the life that you want? You're having a conversation with me about joining this business because you want something different. What's stopping you from doing that? I have a blueprint that can change your life. Let them tell you why they need this, and that's going to help you continue to move forward in confidence, because it's not a guessing game and you don't have to verbal diarrhea all over them. Because let me tell you, that never works. That'll turn people off so fast.
Sarah,
Yes.
I had one person say the fear of joining is herself letting us down. Could you help us with that answer?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard that from anybody before, but there are lots of excuses out there. And so I would probably just turn that back around on her. Like, this isn't about me. This is your business. It has nothing to do with me. All I'm going to do is guide you and give you the tools. This is all you. Business can be whatever you want it to be. I'm just going to give you the tools. That's what I would say back. Because she's just projecting. She wants an excuse to not do it because, again, she's afraid.
Hey, Sarah, can I add to that? Because I had something in my head similar to that for myself, and it wasn't necessarily letting my team down in so much, but letting myself, because I've been in other industries where I wasn't successful. So
Yeah.
maybe questioning a little bit more, like, where is that coming from? Because I've been in 2 other industries where I love the stuff. I still do some of the things. I love the products, but it was just not for me, maybe in that time of my life, and I wasn't successful, and I had to own what my part in it. So when I came here, this is the longest I've been, almost 5 months, where I was successful. So
Yeah.
it's because it's something I truly believe in. It's working for me. And I'm like you, I don't have the amazing results. I have some, but I'm still being consistent. So for the person that just asked that, dig a little deeper, because
Totally.
it might be something else that's triggering that thought.
Absolutely. That's why asking questions is critical to your success. Don't make an assumption. You can respond to her fear and alleviate it, but you have to keep asking questions because there's always something else going on. Let them tell you why they actually need this. One other thing that took me a long time to learn about posturing is the takeaway posture. We don't talk about this very much. People are attracted to what they can't have. If you act like they need to hurry up and join, it is going to create some resistance. Has anyone experienced that? I for sure have. That backfired every time. Maybe not every time, but a lot. You have to flip that script, okay? If you're coming in with desperation, they're going to feel that, first of all. That's not going to create success, okay? And that's not going to probably draw them in to want to work with you. So leave it very open-ended. I leave every conversation because I have a lot where I know people want me to want them. Well, that's not good posture for me as a leader, is it? So I hold it all very loosely. I have no problem saying, okay, we'll check back in later. I think this could be an amazing fit for you, just based on what you've been sharing. But if not, that's okay. Don't beg people, okay? You have to have a takeaway posture too. Find ways to have the conversation. I see you pop on. What do you want to say?
To find the buttons. I was just going to say, use the 1 to 10. Like, ask them where they are.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite things to say on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, this is the weirdest, creepiest thing you've ever heard of, and there's no chance you would join. And 10 being, you have given me enough answers to my questions. I'm ready to join. Where do you land? And then you'll know where they are.
Yeah.
The reality is you've just got to ask more questions. You're not asking enough questions. And when you start asking more questions, you get the why behind the why. Why does someone want to do it? And that sometimes just takes longer, right? To have people break down their walls where they trust you, because like Sarah just said, you don't know their experience before why they're feeling that way. So like if they had joined another company, been promised the world, the product sells itself, like all the slimy stuff people say, you'll build it and sit back on the beach one day and sip your Mai Tai, never work again, and that didn't happen for them, then they've got a wall up. It's sort of like if you've ever been in an abusive relationship of any kind, it causes you to go into the next relationship with your guard up, right? And so keep that in mind. They're not saying no to you. It's actually not about you at all. It's
No.
about them and what they've been through. And if you'll just ask more questions and get behind the why, you can then help answer that and alleviate whatever the fear is that they have that's causing them not to say yes. And then just be honest. Like, listen, I can't guarantee you success. I've had people say things like, well, can you guarantee my investment back? Absolutely not. I can't guarantee that. The only person that can guarantee that is you. But if you're willing, coachable, and hungry, I can show you the steps to do that. And you are thinking, let me ask, how many of you think if you say that, you're going to run them off? Put a 1 in the chat. You're actually not going to run them off. You're actually going to cause the opposite of that. You're going to then recruit people who aren't expecting to become millionaires overnight. You're going to recruit people into your business who now trust you because you were honest with them from the very beginning and they're not expecting immediate results and to become a millionaire overnight. I'm telling you, just be a real human. Be a real human and it changes everything.
It really does. It really does. Be confident, ask more questions, and understand too. Like, yes, ask more questions, but there will be people that just aren't going to let you in, right? There's going to be people that are very resistant. And just understand that if they say no, somebody else is going to say yes. Don't fall apart if you can't get through to somebody. There's billions of people in the world. Let's find another person. And we'll circle back to that one again. They always go on my follow-up list. Every time. Right, no means next. So stay postured. Ask a lot of questions. And like Tina said, just be a real person. This business is actually so easy. It really is. When we take the pressure off of having every single thing we do become successful, like we're in the business of growing humans ourselves first and then others. That's really what this is. It's self-development with a paycheck. I'm sure some of you guys have heard that before. It's absolutely true. So let's move on to the next one. I did not want to keep you guys on here for a full hour. Plus I've got welcome calls this morning, so I got to be off before 10. But let me move on to the very next thing I wanted to highlight, which is how to follow up without being pushy, okay? This is all rolling in together, okay? Are you seeing that? We're addressing the fear. We're showing up with confidence. But let me tell you guys that the real magic is in the follow-up. All these things do have to happen, but follow-up is key. The fortune's in the follow-up. Who's heard that? Right? The reason most people don't do good follow-up is they think they're annoying. Again, making it about ourselves. Allowing our own thoughts to control our actions rather than taking the action that we know we're supposed to take. People think they're being annoying, so they don't want to do follow-up. I get that asked a lot. Well, when should I follow up with them? I don't want to be obnoxious. Here is a top leader tip, and why so many leaders are good at follow-up is because we understand that life happens, right? Timing changes. People's situation adjusts. That's why nobody ever gets off my list until they die. If I get an obit, fine, you get off my list. I had a girl join my team last week that I've been following up with, this is no joke, for 4 years. She wasn't a top leader. She's actually never done network marketing before, but she kept being interested, so we kept having the conversation. Follow-up is also not just about closing somebody. It's about keeping that connection going and continuing to add value to the relationship. So when you guys see some of the trainings that we do on growing your network, right? Adding friends, that is a crucial part of this business. You have to be growing your network daily. You have to get fresh eyes on your stuff daily. That first conversation, probably not closing them then. You're starting the conversations. You're building the relationships, okay? The follow-up is key because people buy from people that they like and trust. That means that you've got to build a little bit with them, right? Follow up with the value, not just checking in. And I've been so guilty of this. Who has sent these messages? Hey girl, just checking back in. I I have done that a lot. Here's a great pivot for you. Rather than saying that, say, hey, Karen, I literally just thought of you this morning. I just saw one of my customers lost 10 pounds on this system. She just told me about it. She's been on it for like 25 days. And I immediately thought of you, and I just wanted to tell you that. Can I send you her testimony, or can I tag you in it in our testimony group? Because I know you're already in there. I'm giving her value. I'm not doing, hey, girl, hey. I do say, hey, girl, a lot. But I always follow it up with something else. My follow-up never feels weird because mentally I've switched my brain over into I'm in a great mood. Maybe the last time we talked, maybe she hasn't responded to me for 3 messages. I don't care. I'm going to respond to her like none of that even happened. And I'll oftentimes will start the conversation like we were just talking. I do that a lot. It breaks the ice. Then they don't feel weird. Maybe we haven't talked in a month. I'll pop in that chat and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you. We're running an enrollment promo right now. I can't believe I forgot to tell you this. I had 3 people jump in, and I just realized I didn't even tell you about this. Do you want me to get you the information on it? Because I would love for you to get in with this promo. I know you had mentioned like the $99 fee was kind of like a deterrent before. Are you interested? Like, can I send you the info? Be a real human, like Tina said. Part of your follow-up doesn't have to be about the business or the products. Maybe you saw something happen on their profile, right? Because part of that is loving on their stuff, right? That should be part of your daily DMO. Loving on your prospects. Giving value out into the internet world. But maybe you've seen something, right? They lost a pet. They took a vacation. They're having a baby. Whatever it is, be a real human and make a connection on that.
Sarah, I have a question. So I had someone say to me, I posted in the chat trying to get help, but everyone's on your thing, so I figured I would just ask here. But so if someone says back to you, she said, thank you for reaching out, but I'm with the company New Skin. We have health and beauty products and I make an extra income with that. Like, what's the best way to reply to that? Because I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, I have never found it successful to try to convince somebody happy at their company to try to get them to leave.
Right, I get
Don't-
that.
Yeah,
But I
don't
was
do
trying
that.
to figure out like a way to like
Just stay in touch
give
with
her
her.
an idea about ours. You know what I mean? Like drop a
that's-
little hint about ours without being like pushy or trying to get in like a match with her over our companies, you know?
No, don't ever do that.
Right.
No, you show our value, right? Like I said, what is your profile looking like? Are you loud about what we have going on over here?
Yes, if you look at my profile, there's all kinds of stuff.
Well,
on there.
it was sort of rhetorical, like, but like,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, like, are you providing value out there? And are you being just a friend to her? Just be a friend to her. Like and love her stuff. Start conversations with her.
Okay.
That's it. You do not need to convince her to leave her company. I will tell you that won't translate for you. And then it'll make you feel weird and gross. And then it feeds that thing, right? Just be a real person. Just love on her stuff. That's it.
All righty. Thank
She'll
you.
start to see your things. Yeah, exactly. Just be a friend.
Sarah, you said be loud and proud on your thing. I've been told before not to paper our, what do you call it? Not wallpaper. Our, I can't think of the word. Sorry. Our page. There it is. Our page with all of our stuff. Is that what you're saying? Is that get more of our testimonials or products out on our page? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, your page is your storefront.
Okay. I just get kind of mixed.
But she
things.
doesn't mean, let me clarify here, because
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Thank you, Tina.
No. I totally get it. Because you've heard us say you don't want to be super spammy,
Right.
but then Sarah's saying being loud and proud. So where's the line? So I'm not going to, like, if you go to my profile right now, here's a great example. there is no question to you that I am in business and I run a business, and that business is available for anyone to purchase a product or join the business. But what you're not going to see on my profile is the company graphic for the $25 sale. You're not going to see pictures of the product so perfectly placed by the sea on my profile, right? Like, I'm just still being a real human. I'm using the product. So when she's saying be loud by using the products, showing, and even in a result, Sarah said it so beautifully earlier. A result isn't just because there's going to be different variations of results in our business with different products. A result is also a feeling. And you're going to, so you could just share how you feel. I sleep better. I'm not as grumpy. Be loud. Erin just said it. Be loud and create curiosity. But you want people to go to your profile and know that you offer something. Anyone that is really, really good at this, it's getting results, is doing that. And so just go look at Sarah's profile, look at my profile, look at the people who are getting the results, and you'll see, like every day, Heidi Draper, she's such a great example. She's talking about her life, and in talking about her life, she's talking about the business or the product, right? So she's, wrapped up going to the kids' game. She's telling the story behind what it was like before when she went to the kids' game and what the difference is now going to the kids' game, or she's going to buy the school supplies. So they're still a part of her life, and she's taking them down that road, but she's also sharing how the business or the product has had an impact on those same activities that she does every day. Does that make sense?
That makes a whole lot of sense. Thank you.
You're
Because I was
welcome.
really confused with that. I haven't been putting anything
No, it was
up
a
there.
great question. It was such
Thank
a great
you.
question.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you don't want to be a commercial. That's really what we're saying. You want to get loud about things without being a commercial. And that's just where being a human being is going to come in. You think about your day and where are you incorporating the products? Where is the business fitting in? Just talk about that. You don't even need to say I don't ever say the name of our company. I don't even really say the name of our products. I do in my stories, but not on my profile, because I'm talking about what it's doing. I'm talking about the experience. Last night, I took pictures of the amount of people we had on the Zoom. I've been so loud about what we have going on over here, and my inbox is wild right now. I haven't given the blueprint. I'm just talking about the results. I'm talking about what we're learning. I'm just being a regular person. So that's the difference, Stephanie. It's just you don't want to be commercial. You just want to be a real person. And how are you incorporating all of this stuff into your regular life? Are you having mojo in the morning? How does that make you feel? That kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so one more quick tip, and then I'm going to wrap it up. The 3-3-3 method. Who's heard of that? When we're talking about follow-up. 3 days. Okay. Now I'll say this, when you send somebody to the testimony group, you send them an overview, here's a pro tip. You need to set a time to follow up with them. You need to ask them, awesome, when are you going to be able to check these out? Well, probably tonight. Perfect. I'm going to shoot you a text about 8:30. Does that work? And you can let me know what you thought. Do not leave that open-ended. You send them the 10-minute video, be like, when do you think you're going to have a chance to watch this, just so that I make sure I'm checking in with you right after to see what you liked. Oh, I'll watch it right now. Awesome. I'll text you in about 15 minutes and you can tell me what you thought. I'm so excited for you to watch this. Set a time. Because if you leave it open-ended, they're going to forget. They're going to forget you added them into the group. They're going to forget to go look at the testimonies. They're going to forget. Okay? So you want to make sure that you're doing that. And then every 3 days for me, sometimes I do it even more frequently. It kind of depends on the situation. I would never let more than 3 days go with a hot prospect. I would do it more frequently, but never more than 3. Okay? And ask those questions. Start asking questions. Hey, did you get a chance to check out the testimonies? Did you see the one I tagged you in where that girl lost this much weight in this amount of time? Did you see that one I tagged you in? Did you hear the part in that 10-minute video about our comp plan? Like, legit. This is the craziest comp plan I've ever seen. Okay? Ask the questions. If you get ghosted, and then everybody goes to if you get ghosted, then you want to move it to every 3 weeks, okay? Then they go on a 3-week rotation for me. Every 2 to 3 weeks, I'm checking back in and I'm just providing value. I'm reminding them, like I said, like, girl, I totally forgot to tell you about this promo. Oh my word. This is what we have going on. It's crazy. They've never done one like this before. Or you send them a testimony that applies. You're like, this just popped up in our testimony group and it made me think of you and I wanted to send it to you. Okay? 3 weeks and then 3 months. If they still haven't purchased the product or joined, keep checking in, but provide value. Okay? There's ways to do it without being gross and spammy. Just keep providing value, asking questions. That's it. Don't ever be afraid of the follow-up because that's where you're going to make your money. You're not going to make it the first time you connect. Sometimes people will buy. 99.9% of the time, it's going to be on that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 10th follow-up. Okay? So, here's where I want you to take some action today. Okay? First of all, I want you to write down what your biggest fear is in this business. Write it down. And then I want you to reframe it. And I want you to write that down instead. And I want you to think about that. So let's say you have a fear of rejection. Jenny just said it. So I want you to write down, I am afraid of rejection. And then right after that, I want you to write, reframe. Every no gets me closer to the right person. Have you ever heard the go for no? I want you to take that fear and I want you to reframe it. And I want you to share that. So I want you to do that today. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to practice your enrollment posture. I want you to pick one powerful question that you can ask the next time that you send an invite. Find a powerful postured question. Focus on guiding people and not trying to convince people, okay? We're leading the way. We're not dragging them along. There's a difference. Think about that before you send that message. Make sure you're postured. Because the fact is, again, what we have changes lives. They need this. They just don't know it yet. Stay postured. Okay, so that's the second thing I want you to do. The third thing I want you to do is follow up with 5 people today, at least 5. If you could do 10, that's even better. And I want you to do a value-based follow-up, okay? Not just, hey girl, checking in. Nope. Send some value. Ask them if they were able to get on the overview last night, if you haven't followed up with that yet. Ask them what they thought of a specific testimony that you tagged them in. Okay? Because the top leaders in this business, we're not fearless, okay? We just take action in spite of the fear. And that boosts confidence. I don't convince people. I guide, I lead. I enroll people with confidence. I don't have to convince anybody. I'm not chasing prospects. Don't chase anybody. Follow up with value and posture. Start thinking of yourself like a business owner when you send those messages, because you absolutely are. You get to decide today that you're a top leader. So that means you got to start taking action like one. Before it feels natural, before your volume has matched it, before the paychecks are where that you want them to be, you have to show up right now like that. And I know that you guys can. Okay, so I know there's questions and we got to pop off here. It's about 10 o'clock. Thank you, Aaron. Yes, thank you. If you guys have questions about things, again, feel free to reach out to one of your top leaders. We can definitely help. Use the chat if needed as well to ask questions. We want to keep it positive, moving forward, excited. So we don't want to really like jam it up with a bunch of questions. We want to keep it really excited and moving forward. But yeah, so I know there were some questions we didn't get a chance to get to. This one went longer, but that's okay. So You guys do not forget, I'm doing the Blitz at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Please hop on with me for that. It's going to be so good. I'm really excited about it. And then we also have tonight the training with the Parkers and Jen Dow. Do not miss that either. It's going to be so good. I'm really excited about that one as well. Thank you, Erin, for doing that. So mine is at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and the Parkers is 8 o'clock tonight, right? Erin? Central? I think.
I don't even know what Central is.
Okay, is it 9 o'clock Eastern?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to double check. I didn't have my graphic in front of me. So, all right, I love you guys so much. Thank you for hopping on with me today. We will get the recording out to you like Erin said. I hope you got some value. Let me know how you showed up differently today. I want to hear it. Put it in the chat, send me a message. I want to know how you shifted something based on what we talked about today. Okay? All right, I love you guys. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Love this.
Bye-bye.